Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now live at 4 on this Monday. Hope you all had a good weekend.
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
How was your vacation?
Very nice. Just a staycation.
Oh, those are great.
My DVR's empty.
Oh, that's good. You caught up on all of that.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Oh, that's
nice
good.
And relaxing.
Really
so,
good.
Good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back.
And here's what's making news on this Monday. Women from across the state gathered at the Capitol today to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote.
Our Danica Lewis will join us with that. An investigation is underway in New York City after a helicopter crashed into a building this afternoon near Times Square.
And the medical examiner is releasing the name of the man who drowned this weekend during the half Ironman competition. We'll share the latest on that investigation.
And Donna Whitehoffen is here. She's making fish recipes today.
Back from Arizona.
Yeah, good. So everybody's back.
Everybody's back. Let's have a party.
This is a great shot. This is Sky 3 over the west side of the isthmus. A little aerial view.
Very cool.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
Weather words, well, becoming damp again. Hope you enjoyed today. Chris Reese is in the backyard, letting us know when the rain's returning.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, at least it's a beautiful day out here right now, and it feels fantastic, so I may not come back in later. You might have to do the weather without me. We had a blanket of cloud cover earlier, and man, once that moved on out, the sun came back out, it really started to feel good. And it does feel good if you're stepping out right now. Here's a live look from the station, and you see the blue sky. We do have a few cumulus clouds out there, but there's no threat of showers or thunderstorms, at least here, coming out of those. We're also pretty comfortable, too. 74 degrees right now. It is breezy. The winds are coming out of the north and west at 15 miles per hour. We're going to be staying breezy as we go through the rest of the afternoon and into the overnight hours. 73 right now as you work your way down towards Janesville, but most of those temperatures are into the 70s at this point, other than the Cross, which does sit at 80 degrees. As we plan the rest of the afternoon, we're gradually going to begin to fall back through the 70s and 60s, and then we're going to shape up for a quiet and comfortable night before the rain chances arrive into Tuesday. We're watching the traffic right now. Of course, this is the Beltline at Todd Drive. We're starting to see that volume increase, though there are no major delays showing up on the Beltline just yet. Of course, we'll track that throughout the show. Guys?
All right, Chris, we'll see you in a few minutes. Don't come back. You can stay out there if you want.
You can come in,
Come on
Chris.
in. All right, thank you, Chris.
All right, thanks, Chris. First and 4. I know you're sitting there thinking, should I not come in? First and 4, Wisconsin is celebrating an important centennial for women, honoring the women who fought for our right to vote. Danica Lewis has more on today's celebrations at the Capitol. Danica?
Well, Mark and Susan, on this day, 100 years ago, Wisconsin became the first state to ratify the 19th Amendment, making female voters legal here. Women came together in the Capitol Rotunda today to remember the women who came before them and made that possible. The ratification happened just 7 years after a statewide referendum on the issue overwhelmingly failed, showing a lot of opposition to suffrage efforts. But Senator David James and his daughter Ida were the ones to deliver the message to D.C., driving halfway across the country to make Wisconsin the first state to support that new law.
Writes later, we packed into a taxi and arrived in no time at the offices of the Secretary of State, where my papers were filed safely and I received a signed statement that Wisconsin was the first.
It actually took another year for the 19th Amendment to be certified. That's when Tennessee became the 36th state to ratify it. Women across the country voted in their first election November 2nd of 1920. So another interesting fact about all of this, lawmakers here didn't amend the state constitution to include a woman's right to vote until 1934. So quite a few years later after that historic event.
That is interesting. It's a major milestone with Wisconsin roots that a lot of people probably didn't know.
They got in a car in 1919 and drove to D.C.?
Sure, you know, just a short, saunter, but important historically.
Yeah.
And I actually got to talk to some women around Madison today just about the importance of all of this for women now, and we'll hear a little bit more of that at 6.
Oh, very good. We'll see you then. All right, thanks, Danica.
Sure thing.
The medical examiner has released the name of the person who drowned during yesterday's half Ironman competition. Officials say 61-year-old Michael McCullough of Cottage Grove died when he drowned in Lake Monona while experiencing a medical emergency. Another person is in critical condition after paramedics had to rescue them. The Madison Fire Department says both athletes were found unresponsive during the swim portion of the race and had to be given CPR once pulled ashore. This comes just a week after another man died during a swimming leg of a triathlon in Lake Mills. Now, coming up on News 3 Now at 5 and 6, we'll hear from the woman who performed CPR on the man who died.
About 400 Wisconsin National Guard members from the 1st Battalion 128th Infantry will be deployed to Afghanistan. Soldiers from the unit based in Eau Claire will mobilize this summer. They'll provide security for coalition forces in Afghanistan. The unit includes companies from Menominee, New Richmond, Rice Lake, Arcadia, Onalaska, River Falls, and Abbotsford. The 128th Infantry has previously served in Iraq and in 2006 and also in 2009.
Well, the man accused of attacking a UW-Madison student in February, then beating her and dragging her down the street, has now pleaded guilty to 3 charges.
The 22-year-old was originally facing 5 felony charges. Our Amanda Quintana is live at the Dane County Courthouse with the details. Amanda?
Yes, well, Jerome Winslow was originally facing 5 felonies, and he pleaded not guilty to those in February. He was set to go to trial, but today he pleaded guilty to 3 of those charges. 2 of them were dismissed. Now, 2 of the charges that he pleaded guilty for were endangering safety, recklessly endangering safety, and 1 charge of substantial battery intending bodily harm. Although the false imprisonment and attempted second-degree sexual assault with use of force charges are being dismissed, the judge can still consider them during sentencing.
You struck her in the face or head and then dragged her, initially it looks like by the feet and then later by the hands, away from the street and down the lake bank. Injuries as a result of
For all 3 charges, he is a repeat offender, increasing the potential time in prison by 6 years for the first 2 charges and 4 years for the 3rd charge. The prosecutor said he will also be serving time in Jefferson County for violating his probation there after being convicted of an armed robbery at the UW Whitewater campus in 2017. Now, when you add up the maximum sentence for just those 3 that he did plead guilty to today, plus those additional years because he is a repeat offender, that is almost 45 years.
Amanda Quintana live downtown. Amanda, thank you.
A helicopter crash landed on top of a building in Midtown Manhattan, not far from Times Square. The New York Fire Department says the pilot was killed. Hundreds of people inside the 54-story building and several others nearby buildings were evacuated. Emergency crews moved pedestrians away from the street below. Governor Andrew Cuomo briefed reporters.
If you're a New Yorker, you have a level of PTSD, right, from 9/11. And I remember that morning all too well.
Investigators say they're trying to figure out if rain and fog played a role in the crash. Emergency officials say most of the damage is contained to the roof. It was not designed for a helicopter landing.
Nearly 2 months after the release of the Mueller report, the House Judiciary Committee kicked off the first of a series of hearings on it. Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill with a look at the hearing and an announcement of cooperation with the Department of Justice.
Former Nixon White House counsel John Dean addressed the House Judiciary Committee as it began the first of several hearings to dive deeper into the findings of the Mueller report.
Clearly, I'm not here today as a fact witness. I hope I can give a little historical perspective.
Dean tried to draw parallels between Watergate and now as the committee examined the issue of obstruction. Republicans on the committee blasted Dean's appearance.
This committee is now hearing from the 70s, and they want their star witness back.
President Trump also weighed in on Twitter saying, "Can't believe they are bringing in John Dean, the disgraced Nixon White House counsel who is a paid CNN contributor. No collusion, no obstruction. Democrats just want a do-over, which they'll never get." Another witness pushed back on the do-over characterization.
Your jurisdiction, as I understand it, is much broader, and you could reach conduct that we might categorize as lawful but awful.
Hours before the hearing, Chairman Nadler announced he would no longer pursue criminal contempt against Attorney General William Barr.
I am pleased that we have reached an agreement to review at least some of the evidence underlying the Mueller report.
But the full House of Representatives is still expected to vote Tuesday on a civil contempt resolution that would allow the Judiciary Committee to enforce its subpoenas in federal court. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The committee had voted to hold Barr and former White House counsel Don McGahn in civil contempt of Congress for failing to comply with subpoenas on the Mueller report.
President Trump is touting the immigration deal the U.S. struck with Mexico in order to avoid tariffs. Mexico has agreed to accelerate its National Guard presence on its southern border starting today. It's also agreed to expand a program requiring asylum seekers to remain in Mexico while their claims are processed in the U.S. President Trump says another immigration deal with Mexico has already been signed.
Most people understand that, the people having to do with borders and illegal immigration and immigration of any kind, they understand exactly what that is. But we purposely said we wouldn't mention it for a little while.
CBS News has learned the U.S. and Mexico discussed what's called a safe third country agreement, which would force Central American immigrants to seek asylum in Mexico instead of the U.S. That specific agreement would need to be approved by Mexico's legislature.
Baseball fans are sending their thoughts and prayers to one of the game's most famous names. Former Boston Red Sox player David Ortiz is in stable condition after he was shot in his native country, the Dominican Republic. He was sitting outside of a bar when police say he was ambushed from behind. Surveillance video shows a motorcyclist approaching the group and shooting Ortiz in the back. Ortiz was a big part of the 2004 Red Sox team that won the World Series for the first time since 1918. When he was in the minor leagues, he played for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. A Madison alumnus has taken home his first Tony Award at the age of 73.
Andrew DeSilles took home the award for Best Featured Actor for his work as the god Hermes in the Broadway play Hadestown. The Baltimore native had previously been nominated twice, but has never taken home an award.
I am making good on my promise that I would come to New York and become someone you'd be proud to call your native son.
DeShields started his career here in Madison while performing in the 1968 controversial production of Peter Pan that featured a nude cast. In 2007, he spoke at the UW-Madison Spring Commencement. Congratulations to him.
Never give up on your dreams.
How exciting.
Yeah, it is very exciting. When we come back, it's the end to a superheroes series nearly 20 years in the making.
Next on Live at 4, we ask our film critic Will Loper if the latest X-Men movie gives the franchise its proper goodbye.
At her
American Airlines is now canceling all of its 737 MAX flights through Labor Day. The company says all 24 of its Boeing 737 MAX planes are grounded through September 3rd. That's about 115 flights a day. Initially, American had canceled all flights using those jets until August 19th. The entire Boeing 737 MAX fleet has been grounded since March after a software issue caused 2 deadly crashes. Boeing says the software has been fixed, but federal agencies still need to sign off on it. A popular Southern California amusement park has reopened today after a wildfire prompted a dramatic evacuation.
Yeah, fast-moving brush fire pushed flames dangerously close to Six Flags Magic Mountain yesterday. Video on social media showed hundreds of people streaming out of the park. Some were still on rides when thick smoke turned the skies dark. Park officials quickly evacuated guests for safety reasons, but fire officials told some to stay in the parking lot due to road closures. One woman says she was stuck in her car for an hour.
Was that frightening? Yes, because the fire was getting big, the palms were burning.
This is one of several fires throughout the state fueled by strong winds and excessive heat. The fire threat continues for the next few days. There's an excessive heat watch in many areas through Tuesday. On Wall Street, stocks added to its most recent rally following the immigration deal with Mexico. The Dow Industrials added 78 points, closing at 26,062. The Nasdaq Composite Index was up 81. The S&P 500 gained 13.
The girl died. She's still our friend. She's not Jean anymore.
Are you threatening me?
That's right.
That would be a bad idea.
Well, that was a clip from X-Men Dark Phoenix, one of the newest movies to hit theaters.
Is it worth seeing? Here to let us know what he thinks is our film critic, Will Loper. Hi, Will.
Hello. Well, guys, this may not be the conclusion to a 19-year film franchise that we deserve, but, you know, it's still got enough superhero action and spectacle to make it worth at least one watch. So the X-Men, they're taking on missions, helping out humans where they can with their mutant powers. When they go up to space to save some astronauts, a big cloud of space dust hits Jean Grey, played by Game of Thrones' Sophie Turner. Her powers are suddenly off the charts, and she has a hard time controlling them. The other X-Men have to decide whether to help her or try and stop her. Now, at times, this can feel a little like a superhero soap opera. The conflict doesn't feel as heavy as it has in past X-Men films. Also, there's some aliens forced in there that really just hurt the film rather than help it. Still, I'm a sucker for seeing all the X-Men use each of their unique powers. Of course, the special effects are great. It's got a great cast like Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, and James McAvoy, who are all given 100%. And if you're a big X-Men fan or you just want an action film to turn your brain off to, this movie, I think, is still worth seeing, even if it is one of the lesser X-Men movies.
But this is the end. This is the end of the series,
That's what
right?
they say.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, and now Disney owns 20th Century Fox, and they'll probably remake it in 3 years or less.
19 years this has been going on.
It has. It's quite a journey since 2000's X-Men with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
The good old days.
Oh, the good old days.
All right, what's the rating on this one?
Yeah, this one 3 Sophie Turners out of 5. She's, of course, fantastic in it as well.
Always, and everything.
Yep.
She is great. So not bad.
Not bad.
Good summer escape.
Yeah. You just want explosions. Fits the bill.
All right, next week.
We've got Men in Black International. Speaking of explosions and aliens.
And sequels.
And sequels and reboots and remakes, yep.
And summer.
And summer, yes. All of that.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you, guys.
We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Take a look at this. Gentlemen, start your chairs. Welcome to Japan's official Chair Grand Prix. Founded 10 years ago and inspired by Formula One and Le Mans endurance racing, the race sees teams of 3 battle it out on ordinary office furniture across 2 grueling hours to see who can complete the laps of the 200-meter course. Propelling their chair backwards seems to be the universal tactic. 3 team members rotate during the race, Le Mans style, to stay fresh, but this day's dense summer heat and humidity proved a tough battle for even the most experienced racers. The winning team, the returning champs. The prize, 200 pounds of local rice. Why not?
Well, that's one way to stay fit in the
We should
office.
start that here.
Right, go out by the weather patio, whip around the newsroom, sure. Give it a try.
That would be quite the adventure, I'll tell you that much.
A volcano in Indonesia spewed a massive plume of ash and smoke into the sky over the weekend.
Yeah, Mount Cinnabug stirred to life, causing ash to go as high as 4.5 miles into the sky. Scientists recently put the volcano on red alert level, which means an eruption is imminent. Authorities say no one has been killed by the eruption.
That can affect weather, right? You get all that
that
ash
really
in the air.
can. Once you get a lot of ash into the air, you start to block the amount of sunlight that can actually filter through the atmosphere. Then you start to change heating and how much daylight you get, temperatures and whatnot. So yeah, it really can. But thankfully, I do think we're going to see at least some sunshine through the rest of this afternoon.
That's a long way away from here.
Yeah,
I
don't think it's going to affect us. But after today, things do get a little damp. Your forecast coming up. We woke up this morning to a blanket of cloud cover, but that has moved out of the way as we have gone through the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine out there, still some clouds on the horizon, but I'm not concerned about these producing any rain. They are just the makers of a beautiful day, which is exactly what it has been. In fact, here's a look at visible cloud track right now, just showing you the field of cumulus clouds that we do have across the state as a whole. Meanwhile, the overall blanket of cloud cover now well to our east. We're talking Michigan and even beyond Michigan into parts of southern Canada, getting in on the cloud cover now. That's also taken a lot of that rain with it as well. A lot of this from the cold front that moved through last night and now focused, on the eastern half of the country. You work your way towards the nation's capital. They've gotten in on some showers and thunderstorms, clouds and low fog throughout parts of New York City as we speak at the moment as well. And then parts of eastern Kentucky getting in on some showers. That's moving in towards Virginia now. As for us, we're staying quiet at the moment. High-resolution Doppler free of any kind of showers and thunderstorms throughout parts of southern Wisconsin. That's going to be the theme as we go through the rest of this evening as well. Temperatures are also going to be staying comfortable. Speaking of our high temperatures for today, though, a lot of us did make it well into the 70s. 74, that high here in Madison. Mineral Point made it to 75, same for Platteville and Dubuque. Boscobel up at 76, and La Crosse, a common warm spot, but they've made it towards 80. And this temperature, still as good as it felt, is actually cooler than where we normally are for this time of the year. Our normal high now 77 degrees with a normal low right around 54. So we're close to where we should be, but just a smidge below average. Right now, the temperature is still sitting at 74. Winds coming out of the northwest at 15 miles per hour. It's a little breezy, folks, and we're going to be staying breezy as we go through the rest of this afternoon and into tonight. And that's going to be that stiff northwest wind that sticks around through the overnight hours as well. It's going to help us to have a cooler, comfortable night too, with high pressure overhead. That's keeping that sunshine around. That's also keeping this line of showers to the north primarily at bay. I don't think that's going to impact us at all. But the same setup that we have actually begins to repeat. As this high pressure slides towards the south and east on Tuesday, we'll notice an increase in the cloud cover Tuesday afternoon and evening. That's going to lead to rain chances, especially into Wednesday. And while I don't think it's going to be a widespread washout, I do think everyone will have that chance at least for some light showers, which is why I've been using the word damp going into Wednesday. Eventually, that moves on towards the east, kind of like the setup we have right now, and then high pressure sets up again towards the center part of the country. That's going to bring more sunshine for us once we get you beyond the middle of the week. Temperature-wise tonight, though, we're going to see those drop down into the 40s and 50s. Again, another comfortable night. Maybe you want to open up those windows. This is not the bad night to do it. Tomorrow, not too shabby as well. Once we get you into the afternoon with those highs in the 70s, that's when you'll see the clouds start to increase. That's also when you'll start to see those chances for showers and thunderstorms moving in. I think the farther north and west you are, the greater chance you'll have to see them earlier on in the day. Into Wednesday, we're going to target the southern half of the area with that greatest threat for those showers and thunderstorms. It's also going to be very cloudy and very cool. Check out the temperatures not moving beyond the low 60s for your highs on Wednesday, as we'll have multiple chances for some showers and thunderstorms. If you have outdoor plans on Wednesday, I don't think it would be a bad idea to have an indoor backup option. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle trying to get those outdoor plans in use into Wednesday, but I don't think it will be impossible. So there's at least some good news for you. Once we get past Wednesday, we do clear out towards the weekend. That rain chance that we were watching for Father's Day has actually trended a little bit faster. So now it's actually looking like that is going to be on Saturday. We've done a little bit of a swap between the 2 days. On Sunday, we'll have a slight chance of rain early, but then we start to clear out for your Father's Day Sunday. And then the sunshine returns for the start of next week until we watch another rain chance by midweek. And that, again, does not look like a big washout at all.
It's nice to turn off the AC, get some fresh air in the house.
It really is.
Great this morning.
I've done that for, I guess, the past several days.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly,
it feels good.
I had my windows open.
Yeah.
It got me on the allergies at one point, so I had to shut it. But with the rain yesterday, I opened it right back up, and it's been great.
Good. Good stuff.
Very nice.
I know.
All right.
Keeping it that way.
But rain for the next couple of days.
But it will rain.
Close the windows.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, patients who suffer from severe allergies now have another option that could dramatically alleviate their chronic symptoms.
As Kenneth Craig explains, it does not involve surgery.
Yes, it just started progressively getting worse.
Melody Stazone recently arrived at a breaking point. Her year-round allergies were so severe, everyday life was getting unbearable.
I wouldn't even be here. I couldn't even go by the parks. It was just too much. It was just a constant, barrage of just being stuffed up and with the sore throat and the nasal drip and not being able to breathe, massive headaches.
Melody exhausted nearly every over-the-counter and prescription allergy medication. So Dr. Gregory Levitin at New York Eye and Ear Infirmary at Mount Sinai suggested a minimally invasive cryotherapy called Clarifix.
I think this has been a real game changer for a lot of patients.
Dr. Levitin showed us the procedure on another patient right in his office, which targets and freezes the nerves in the nose. By interrupting the signal to the nerves, they no longer tell the nose to drip, run, and swell.
I consider this a non-surgical alternative. You come in, we give local anesthesia. We can then apply the Clarifix device to the back of the nose. Patients shouldn't feel any pain at all, and it's very effective in almost everyone we treat.
Dr. Levitin says the treatment is ideal for allergy sufferers who experience year-round symptoms like Melody,
I have complete clarity now.
who was back to doing the things she loved just a few months after the treatment.
It's completely different. I actually am in the parks all the time, riding my bike, walking around.
It really sounds like this was life-changing for you.
It absolutely was.
Melody says she no longer takes daily medication and finally feels like she has her life back. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
The most common side effects associated with Clarifix cryotherapy are temporary increased congestion and a little bit of transient pain or discomfort.
It changed her life.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, stay with us. There's more to come on Live at 4.
When we come back, Marissa DeGroot from the Dane County Humane Society is here with a whole lot of dog looking for a new... Oh, what a face. Look at him. We'll meet Lake, I believe is his name.
Lake.
That's when Live at 4 continues.
Here's a live look at downtown Platteville on this sunny Monday afternoon. Looking good out there. It's time for Potentially Yours here on Live at 4.
Marissa DeGroot is here from the Dane County Humane Society. Hi, Marissa. Who'd you bring today?
I got quite the bundle of joy here. We have Lake, and believe it or not, he is only about 2 to 3 months old and some sort of hound mix, but he's already such a big boy.
I mean, look at his paws. He's going to be a moose.
Yes, he is going to be a bit of a moose dog, but what I love about it is it's kind of the perfect time right now if you're looking for a puppy. Maybe the kids are getting out of school and can get involved with the training. And Lake here, I think, is going to learn a lot really fast. You can see he's already so gentle with the treats.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's going to be really easy to train him in, you know, the rest of his leash training and everything else he'll need to know.
And he's not mouthy like a puppy can be.
No, not mouthy like a puppy. He'll get a little noisy when he wants you to play with him, but, you know, for a puppy, he is so fantastic.
He's got such a sweet face, and he's all
really
legs. He's got the longest legs. When he jumps up for a treat, he's about, it looks like he's about 5.5 feet tall.
Yep, and so at only 2 to 3 months old, he does have a lot of growing to do until he's about 1 year old. So if you're looking for a big lover here, Lake is your guy.
And he's got a brother?
He does. We have another one from the same litter. They actually came up from Arkansas, and so they're looking for a great new home up in the Madison area.
Aw, hi.
But just be aware, he's going to get big.
He is going to get big.
This dog is 2 months old?
Yeah.
I know, it's hard to believe.
8 weeks?
Yeah, but I think, you know, he's one of those big dogs that is going to grow up thinking that he's a lap dog, too, because all he wants to do is snuggle.
Oh, I love dogs like that.
He's a great guy. All right, you got a garage sale coming up for kids.
We do, so you save the date for not this weekend, but the weekend after, Saturday the 22nd, you can head out to our main shelter and our horse and livestock barn there. We have a lot of great items, all for kids. Books, clothing, all sorts of things. We're going to be having that out at Saturday at the main shelter.
Great, and how about our sweet dogs from last time?
They did get adopted. We are so excited for
Bingo and
Cheeto.
Bingo and Cheeto.
Bingo and Cheeto.
You know, this is the best news I've had all week. It's only Monday, but they were so sweet.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And they had to go together.
Yep, and so we're so excited for that pair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great news. That is
Bingo
great
and
news.
Cheeto. All right.
Great names,
Let's
too.
get Lake a home here, right, buddy?
Yep, a lot of great dogs looking for good homes right now.
And you're right, this is a great time of year.
It really
Kids
is.
get out of school, spend a lot of time with them.
Weather is beautiful. Go out and get a walk.
You know, I had 2 dogs. I got them in January. Not the
And
greatest thing.
Right, not the best time.
All right, good luck, Lake.
Thanks, Marissa. Great to see you.
Go to the website giveshelter.org for information on Lake and all the critters available. 838-0413 is the phone number.
Look at that face. He's selling it.
You sell it, Lake. Marissa, thanks again.
Thank you.
Still to come at 4, something fishy is going on.
Nutritionist Donna Weihoffen is back from her winter in Arizona. She brought some great recipes that are key to the Mediterranean diet. We'll talk about that when Live at 4 continues.
Well, we're watching the Beltline traffic for you guys as folks begin to head home on this Monday afternoon. Here's how things are shaping up for us. We'll start with the Beltline at Todd Drive, where traffic is actually moving pretty well. It's not all that bad out there. We're starting to see a little bit of an increase in volume, but it is flowing. That's what matters when it comes to getting you home. But of course, we are seeing the slowdowns between Verona Road and John Nolan. The average speed anywhere from about 20 to 30 miles per hour. So pack a little bit of patience, especially between Seminole Highway and then Todd Drive over towards Fish Hatchery. That is where they have condensed your eastbound traffic down to 2 lanes because they're doing some construction on the bridge that goes over the highway there. So be mindful of that. We come down towards Verona Road. We are also seeing those slowdowns, especially as you begin to approach the County Highway PD intersection. Speeds anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So you'll need a little bit of patience going in that direction too. Most routes are cruising along. That slowest time frame though is going to be going eastbound between Verona Road and John Nolan on the Beltline. That'll take you about 10 minutes right now at the average speed at 26 miles per hour. Guys?
All right, Chris, thank you. Hot air balloons took to the skies over London this weekend as part of the annual Lord Mayor's Hot Air Balloon Regatta. The balloons flew over many of the city's famous landmarks, including Houses of Parliament and Cannery Wharf. In all, 46 balloons took flight. The annual event raises money for local charities.
Oh, I love that.
Spectacular sight.
Yeah.
Well, the health benefits of eating a Mediterranean diet are well documented.
Fish is an important part of the Mediterranean diet. Nutritionist Donna Weinhofen is back from your wintering in Arizona.
Welcome back.
Yes, we decided to come back. I feel really bad for your winter. I'm so sorry.
It was not good.
I'm so sorry.
Well,
but we'll try again.
It's been a wet May, so you didn't escape it entirely. All right, so fish. A lot of people, I think, are intimidated by fish.
Right, and I'm going to show you how to do it so simply. And you just take fish, and I'm going to take salmon and 2 pieces of cod, and I'm going to put them on a baking pan with some butter on the bottom, and I'm going to put 3 different glazes on top. And this one is going to go in the salmon. And it's apricot preserves, brandy, a little bit of brandy, and just a little bit of Dijon mustard and a touch of soy sauce.
That's it.
And that's it. You put it on top. These all can bake together too. This is cod, and I'm going to put a walnut topping on it. This is breadcrumbs and walnuts, and just a little bit of melted butter to hold it together. And it has a little bit of Dijon mustard in it too. And this one is sour cream, a little bit of mayonnaise, dill weed, and just put this on top like this. And these all can be made ahead. So you make these ahead, and these then are ready to bake.
Now this has a little Parmesan cheese in it as well, right?
I'm sorry, yep. It has the Parmesan cheese.
Could you put these toppings on either one? Or?
Yeah, but this one's better on salmon, I think, goes with the sweet things.
Now, is one fish healthier than another?
Well, salmon is so good for you, and it is the basis of the Mediterranean diet because it has the omega-3 fats in, which is really hard to get otherwise. And the omega-3 fats give it a little bit more calories because it's a higher fat fish. But it's also almost, you can hardly fail when you cook with salmon because it does have so much moisture in it. You can put this topping on it, put it in the oven, and I guarantee it's not-fail.
What, 350 for 20 minutes?
350, 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the thickness. Now, the cod is half the calories. It's only 150 calories in a 6-ounce serving, but it has no fat in it. And that's good because it replaces things like meat fat, but you don't get the omega-3s. So.
Do you need fresh fish?
No, I think the freshest fish in Wisconsin is frozen fish because, it's frozen right on the boats. I mean, when frozen fish is really, really good, so you do not have to buy it. And also, wild salmon is awfully very expensive. I heard in Seattle they're selling for $44 a pound.
Well, I just looked this past weekend. It was $31 a pound.
Yeah.
And you're not buying a pound.
No, but it's half a pound. And also, the farm is it's fine. It has the same nutrients in it. It's great. I think it's a little bit more consistent too. It's not quite as, sometimes the wild has some different kinds of flavors, which are unusual.
But you stand, I stand in front of the fish counter, and there's all these different fish.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, what do I even do with this?
And this is so easy. All you have to do is bake it.
And you could do this with catfish, I would assume?
Yes.
It's a lighter fish as well.
And one other way. I show you this.
Oh, look at this.
This is copper, and this is you put it on your grill, right on top of your grill, and you put the fish on top of this, because otherwise if you put it on your grill, it falls through. And you still get some marks from the grill marks. And it cooks absolutely fantastic on copper. So these are copper pads. There are some solid ones too.
And you could do that with these toppings on it?
Yes. You could put this in the grill and put it in the grill.
Oh, interesting.
But this one would be a little drippy.
And this usually often comes with the skin on it.
Yeah, I like, the skin comes off really easily. If you want to put it in the skillet and fry it quickly, the skin will peel right off. But I kind of like to put the butter in the bottom and have it without the skin, but the skin does come off very easily after you cook it.
Yeah, it's tough to cook in a skillet if it's got the skin on because you can't flip it.
Right.
If you cook the skin side down, and then you take it out and just take off the skin, and then you can recook it.
When you bake it, how long do you bake it?
I bake it for, 20 minutes one time wasn't enough. So I kind of err more like 30.
Okay.
But
this is good. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the topping is really good, isn't it?
I don't even know you're eating fish.
I know. 145 degrees is what you want to use. If you use a thermometer, you could do that. But you can always just cut it in half before you serve it.
Recipes all online. Channel 3000.
I hope so.
It's coming soon. Donna, great to see you.
Great to have you back, Donna.
I'm happy to be back.
Coming back again sooner than last time.
Yes.
All right. We'll be right back with the final check of your forecast. I'm going to try this one.
It's good. This one's really good.
Get outside.
Yeah, if you can. Another comfortable night by far. We're going to see that sunshine around this evening. Then tonight, the temperatures will fall down to about 52. So that's another open the windows kind of night. Let the breeze come in. It's going to feel great. Then we move into tomorrow. Tomorrow itself will actually be a fairly nice day. We'll see those temperatures topping out right around 74, but then tomorrow night happens. That's when the rain chances come in. We'll see those rain chances lingering into your Wednesday. That's going to drop those temperatures just a little bit, but we slide right back up as we head throughout the rest of the forecast.
63. Donna's going to go back to Arizona.
You might.
I might have to go back to Houston. We'll see.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Tomorrow on Live at 4, Dr. Shaila Mergain shows us how to build a better body image.
And Consumer Reports asks the question, do we really need to take a vitamin D supplement? Well, probably not. We'll have more about that tomorrow at 4. In today's Final Touch, yet another reason to move to Key West, Florida.
They have too much fun down there. A New York City man won the Stoli Key West Cocktail Classic Contest. A panel of judges, including former NSYNC singer Lance Bass, former American Idol winner LaToya London, comedy writer Bruce Vilanch, and Key West drag queen Sushi, evaluated contestants' cocktails for their appearance, aroma, balance, and taste, as well as the bartender's showmanship. The winner, Sam Benedict, created a vodka cocktail